Thunder Nuggets. One of the that's the other upset we had. Kind of unexpected. That was another. It was a close game, right?
Yeah,
Kind of.
you didn't. It was a thing where the score was kind of close, but you felt like the Thunder were in control the whole game, and then suddenly you look up from your crazy 8 match, and a big shot's being buried by Aaron Gordon to give him the lead. My half-raised eyebrow that I talked about in the last show of like, oh, the Thunder are young, and they didn't perform well in last year's playoffs, but it's a different team, is kind of raised to a full eyebrow now. After game 1, still not a massive area of concern, but Jalen Williams goes 5 of 20. I don't feel like Chet had a very good game. I mean, he misses the crucial free throws for one thing. I mean, that's the reason they lose the game. He's at the line with a chance to ice it and can't get it done, which leaves the door open. It was a bad mishandling. I think this is the biggest talk of the game, honestly, is how the Thunder handled fouling up 3.
Yep.
They did it too fast. Then you get the Shea finish at the rim, and you foul immediately without letting them dribble up. And one, because you foul immediately so you don't run any time off the clock. You could have let them dribble up and then foul. But also Jokic is on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
He's not in the game. And so I would have just played it out from that point because the Nuggets coach honestly made the mistake first because you're about to have your best player on the bench to end the game.
Mm-hmm.
But then you foul, you let Jokic get back in the game. So I do like the Thunder's coach, but he said in the game, he said this one's on me, in the post-game presser, he was like, I messed up, this one's on me. But yeah, Jalen Williams has a bad game. Chet doesn't have a good game. Shea was good. You had a great Caruso game. He gives you 20, and he's not there to score. He also has 5 steals, I believe. He's everywhere. He's a guy that does
and 2 blocks.
He's a guy that does have postseason experience. So hopefully he can kind of steady the ship. The big thing, that maybe this is like a boomer take for me, but Jalen Williams goes 5 of 20, right, and is just kind of all jokes about it. He's posted on social media like, oh, ha, 5 of 20, like, I'm going to go private now. And it's just like, dude, I get y'all are like the fun young team, and y'all don't really take anything seriously, but this is something to take seriously. You're in the playoffs playing against possibly the best player in the world, and you're just trying to laugh off a bad Game 1 performance. It just doesn't sit right with me personally. The Nuggets side, massive Jokic game. Do you have 40 and 20?
42, 22, and 6. The 4 players in NBA history that have had a 40-20 game in the playoffs: Jokic, Giannis, Shaq, Wilt Chamberlain.
Pretty good company.
Yeah, very good company to be in. And Jokic is already pretty much amongst them in terms of the all-time rankings, it feels like. I kind of I view it from a different lens. I don't think... I kind of agree with OKC that they shouldn't really feel worried. I'm not raising my eyebrows personally with how this game went. We were in control of the game, and we kind of just faltered right at the end by not even like our own fault. Just the coach put us in the wrong spot. And I still think they can get scoring from other guys. Like Isaiah Joe was 0 for 4 from 3. He's a guy that can give you 5 to 10 points a night. And Aaron Wiggins wasn't great, although his plus-minus was great in the minutes he played. I still feel like the Thunder are completely in control of this series.
Sure.
They have the advantage, again, like we said, going into the series. They're way more rested than the other team, and they have a ton of depth. And I think the only problem they're going to have is going to be Jokic, because unfortunately I did not expect this, but like Hartenstein was not good on Jokic in Game 1 whatsoever, and
Chet definitely can't guard Jokic.
Definitely can't guard him. He's not big enough, and if they switch Lou Dort or Caruso on them, like, they're great defenders, but they're not big enough.
Yeah.
And so I think Jokic is just going to get whatever he wants. He could score 40 in every single game in this series. But that, in my opinion, is the way you try to beat the Nuggets, is you just let the kids, not the kid, because he's 30 at this point, but just let the dude score 40, 50 points,
yeah,
and take away his assist. and force the other guys to make shots. And Aaron Gordon made the shots in this game, and he was huge for them. Westbrook had a great game, scored 18 off the bench in his return to Oklahoma City in the postseason. So I still feel the same way I felt about the Thunder coming into this series, that they should be in control. I think the Nuggets eventually are going to tire out. They're playing so many minutes, and eventually it's just going to get to them. And the Thunder have all these bodies, and I think they played their worst game of the postseason easily.
Yeah.
They don't have the hot start to begin like we expected. They, in fact, play pretty slow, but then they answer with a good second quarter. And then they got outscored by the Nuggets in the second half. They give up 35 in the third and 36 in the fourth. And for them, they're supposed to be an elite defensive team. That's kind of an issue that they need to address. But I don't expect that to be the norm in this series. I just don't see how the Thunder are going to get outscored all that much continually throughout this series. So I don't know. As a Thunder guy, I still feel pretty confident in this team. But then again, you feel like a team should be fully in control of a series, but sometimes the youth kind of catches up to you, and you really aren't as good as you're really supposed to be. We've seen that with the Rockets.
Yeah.
And we saw that with the Timberwolves last year, and we may see that with the Timberwolves this year as well. So I don't know. I still think the Thunder win this series. They still should win this series in 6.
Yeah.
But the Nuggets, again, another mental edge thing. With all the road teams winning, it is winning the mental edge. They now have proven, okay, we can beat the Thunder when we don't have an excellent game from everybody. So we feel like we have a chance in this series. And they felt that way in the post-game presser. They felt like they had handled business with the way it looked to me.
That makes sense.
And the Thunder had the reaction very similar to the way the Timberwolves did, where it's just like, oh, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. So you could say that, and J-Dub can do all that on Instagram, but
He just better back it up.
you got to go out there and do it. I expect the Thunder to do it tonight.
I hope so. I agree. I'm not really that worried about the Thunder losing this series. As good as the Nuggets were tonight, and hopefully they were pretty good down the board. You didn't necessarily get the best Jamal Murray game. Also, Michael Porter was bad, but Michael Porter, I think his shoulder's just so cooked at this point. He's going to be bad the rest of the playoffs. You can't ask for anything from him, which basically means they have five guys. It's like Westbrook, Braun, Murray, Gordon, and Jokic, and then you have like the Peyton Watson piece to steal minutes off the bench. But they just don't have the depth, in my opinion, to contend in this series. I do, as good as OKC has been defensively, I agree completely that I think Jokic is in a great spot in this series, unless Hardenstein just turns it around, because I did expect Hardenstein to be better on Jokic than he was.
He was good through the first half. At one point,
Yeah.
Jokic was 1 for 6 against Hartenstein.
Which I get, Jokic is so hard to stop.
But Jokic had 16 in the fourth. He was cooking.
So I'm really not that worried. It's just, I think it's more of a frustration thing for me of like, y'all have been so good, y'all should be so good, and then you lose the game in the way you did at home. It's just it just frustrates me, because you shouldn't be down 0-1 in this series, but you are. And so
I think it's a uniform thing as a Thunder fan. I don't like those uniforms that they wear, and I also don't like the crowd when they're in those colored T-shirts.
interesting.
That
What crowd
navy.
is it? What crowd was it that I noticed it was just entirely, like, none of them were wearing the shirt? It was last night.
I don't think the Cavs were wearing
No, the
shirt.
Cavs were. A lot of
Was
them
it
were wearing.
Timberwolves?
That's right,
white.
because they have the
Timberwolves.
diff.
Timberwolves.
It was the Timberwolves.
Timberwolves were not wearing the shirt.
We're also wearing white, but the Thunder, like their home crowds, are built on the blue and the white crowds.
Sure.
And again, they're going to wear the same jerseys and the same T-shirts tonight. And I don't feel like, not Chesapeake Bay Arena anymore, but I forgot what it's called now. I don't feel like it has the same vibes and advantage when they're wearing that color, in my opinion. So I blame it on the uniforms.
That's some in-depth analysis right there.
So hopefully they can get over the uniforms, because it appears they're going to wear the same color again tonight. But we'll see.
I would hope they don't get knocked out of the playoffs due to uniforms. That would be a pretty bad look.
It's possible. We've seen uniform debacles, and we saw that last night with Buddy Hield coming out there in the wrong shorts.
I saw that he was wearing what shorts was he wearing?
He was wearing the practice shorts.
He's got to warm up in those again.
Yeah.
For a vibe.
He claims Jimmy switched the shorts on him, and then Jimmy said, "Yeah, those are the right shorts. You're good there." And then he came out to the game and believed him.
That's funny.
And
then he played like that with Jimmy in his head. That's crazy.
They have good vibes currently.
They've
been
insane vibes.
Friendly banter back and forth this whole playoffs between the two of them.
Yep.